I cannot contain my excitement.
What's so funny?
This is the best Well, I hate to be biased, but this is one of the best panels so far. I'm so excited. Lots of familiar faces up here. AJ Frederickson, Will Hire. Oh, see, Jacob Sersasimo.
Hi.
I said that right?
Kinda.
What is it?
Sir Sasimo.
Sersasimo. Shoot.
I'm not mad.
The one and only Robbie Jackson joining us today.
Hey, what's poppin', guys?
How's everyone? How we doing on this Friday?
A lot better now that football's back.
Yeah, football's back.
That
huge.
is true. That's true. Well, like you said, with football, we have a lot to cover. Almost too much to fit in this 30-minute segment, but we're going to try to make it happen. Who watched the game last night? I mean, you better all. Everyone is raising their hands.
100%. We watched it together, Katie.
Well, I know for the first half. And talking about the first half, we're sitting there and we're like, Tom Brady is Jesus.
He was killing it.
He was killing it, you guys. We thought the Patriots had this game. I even looked at some ESPN, their little line graph that they do, and it was like projected Patriots up until mid-third quarter, and they just went off. The Kansas City Football Club went off.
Speaking of that, I don't know. I'm just on NFL.com right now, but I'm getting breaking news, so I don't know how breaking this is.
Yeah, let's hit it.
Eric Berry is out for the season with a torn Achilles.
No.
Yes. Yep. No, I'm reading it right now.
You guys,
do you have Kansas City?
Not only that, but
terrible.
Patriots in general with injuries last night. Donta Hightower in the third quarter with a knee injury, to keep in mind. And New England already lost their receiver Edelman for the season, and now the guy that was supposed to fill that spot, Danny Amendola, might have a serious head injury. I mean, that might not be season, but still, they're facing a lot of hurdles.
Brandon Cook's fantasy stock just went way up.
Same with Gronkowski. That guy was already sky high. But
that touchdown would have been so sick if it was a catch, if he had control.
I was extremely impressed with Tom Brady last night. I think he still got it at 40, despite them losing by how many ever points they did. Nothing was really his fault to me.
Don't get me wrong.
There were a few tight passes.
I love Tom Brady, but 16 for 36?
What? He was thrown to Rex Burkhead and Dion Lewis. Which I think their fantasy stock goes up too, but
if you're greatest of all time, you got to make that work.
Oh my gosh, he just won a 5th Super Bowl.
He always makes that work. He's had average receiving cores at best. He's got 5 rings.
What are you talking about? He had Randy Moss.
Well, that was his exception.
That?
Other than that,
Randy Moss, 7 years past his prime?
What?
Randy Moss had one of his best years as a Patriot.
They broke records that year.
Yeah.
Was Moss on the Raiders before or after the Patriots?
After, I want to say.
Know.
I mean, is that the discussion? I thought we were talking about whether or not he was good when he was on.
No, he was good. He wasn't in his prime.
I thought he went from the Raiders to the Patriots, and when he was on the Raiders, he was bad.
Well, that's just kind of a Raider thing.
Speaking of the Raiders, I really like your jersey today, Robbie J.
I really dislike it. Now I definitely should have wore the John Elway jersey today.
Speaking of quarterbacks, though, Alex Smith, 28 for 35, threw for 368 yards and 4 touchdowns. What?
Okay. I've been saying it for a long time.
Do you see how humble he was in the postgame, too? Did anyone watch the interviews?
No, I didn't.
I mean
he
was just saying the mindset you go in, and it was their game. You know, they just won the Super Bowl. Everyone's pumped, a Patriots fan at home. And then he just said, you face Tom Brady, you just have to put that aside. He was just super humble about it.
I just don't think he's very outgoing.
True. No, you're right. You're right.
Didn't want to be
that's a good feature to have, though.
He's average in
everything
he does except for playing quarterback.
Which is unfortunate. I really want Patrick Mahomes to get his chance.
No, Alex Smith
right now.
He's a gamer. He's so good. He's been so underrated for the longest time. People called him a game manager, etc. A bunch of mediocre words. This guy's flat out good. He's talented. And with now with Kareem Hunt as a really big, he's kind of a stud now.
Speaking of Kareem Hunt, talk to me about your fantasy. Did he start for you last night? Was it a good move that you didn't start him? I mean, 17 carries, 148 yards.
How many touchdowns?
As a rookie.
Let me walk you guys through this real quick. So, the league that I have him in, my friends and I drafted before the preseason even started because we all wanted to be together or whatever. So I picked him up with my second to last pick, right? So immediately I'm like, all right, whatever. But now he's like the starter. Mindset is, okay, I'm not going to start a rookie in his NFL debut on the road against the defending Super Bowl champion New England Patriots.
Your logic is sound.
Yeah, right. It's perfect. And then he
Fantasy football defies all logic.
And then he fumbles on the first carry. So I'm like, all right, I might drop this guy.
Just to rub it in.
I would have laughed.
I need to throw a fun fact
guy.
at you. After fumbling his first NFL carry, he scored 3 times and set an NFL mark. His 246 yards per scrimmage were the most by any player making his debut since 1970.
Woof.
Wow.
He was a stud. He was fast. He was agile. He broke tackles.
Yeah, do you remember seeing that fumble? We were like, man, he's got to get his, you saw how frustrated
you felt bad for
everyone
him
was
too.
trying to get up. Like, all the assistant coaches are like, he's just like, don't touch me. Get out of here.
And then
it's cool.
And then
I think he took that out.
The receiving touchdown too. He broke
so
away.
fast.
He had good hands. He's a stud. Yeah. He's so good. He's going to be very good.
Are you ready? It sounds like you're ready to crown him as the #1 back in the league.
I'm ready to never take him off my regular lineup again.
Bet.
Hey.
I might leave him in during the bye week.
Robbie.
I might leave him in during the bye week.
Well, now you have to.
Just because he might pick up like 5 or 6 points. That's how good he is.
Kansas City, a real competitor this year?
No.
Well, they've got the Denver Broncos in their division.
And the Oakland Raiders.
And the afterthought of the AFC West.
If Alex Smith can go back to his 49er days, I think
and just
they got a
keep
shot.
on keeping on with his humbleness.
Well,
yeah,
I was blown away. I forgot that I forgot that Kansas City went 12-4 last season.
That's going to be
one of the
most
quiet, good seasons I've ever heard of.
Because everyone just pushes them to the side because they have nobody on their team that's like, ooh, big headline.
Yeah, I thought they went like 9-7.
Well, now they have Kareem Hunt.
And Tyreek Hill and
Tyreek Hill was
Travis
great last night.
Tyreek Hill was killed. Yeah,
they're gonna be a good.
Tyreek Hill was killing.
That division is going to be. They might all go 8-8, but one of the best teams in the NFL is going to come out of that division this year for sure.
You guys, I'm just throwing out some fun facts today. I did see this on an update though that was the first time since December 18th, 1960. That the Patriots led after 3 quarters and lost by 2+ touchdowns.
106 games.
And the first time ever at home.
We got quite the research center here.
I know.
We got a lot of fun facts.
Yeah,
it's just stuff I see.
That is crazy, though.
Did you see how empty Gillette Stadium was in the final couple minutes?
Did you see all those Patriots fans slouched in their seats?
Yeah.
We'll still
not
win
even
the Super
standing.
Bowl, though.
After they all want to talk about 28-3 on the scoreboard and everything, and they go and choke their lead away.
I like it.
But it
nothing better.
Tough
There's
league,
nothing
man.
better.
Tough league.
I would have loved to see one Tom Brady passing touchdown just for my fantasy team, but I'll always be happy with a Patriots loss.
I think they're still going to do really good.
Oh, yeah, no question.
Great analysis.
Great analysis.
Do you remember
They're going to do really
Once
good.
they get the defense figured out.
What is this season going to look like? I know it's only week 1, but are the Patriots eligible for another ring?
No.
Yes,
Yes.
for sure.
Most dolphinately.
So we are 3 out of 4.
Yes,
Oh,
it's
see?
awesome. Why,
Nice.
Why you get no?
That was really good.
It matters how bad the Dante Hightower injury is, but if he's out for a significant amount of time, let alone maybe even like the season with whatever he has,
I agree with that.
He's not single-handedly, but in the Super Bowl, remember his play in the Super Bowl, the big strip sack?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That was like
Game
they're
changing.
starting
Yep.
to come back,
Yeah.
and then Brady did the rest. I mean, he is the heart and soul of that defense, and I think seeing their defense struggle last night, they need a guy like Dante Hightower.
They need someone to
Yeah.
pass rush.
Yeah, because he is a tank. He's a tank. Excuse me. He's a tank, and they need him. So if they don't have him, I don't know if they can do it. And there's been a couple of big blows to their offense. I think obviously Belichick and Brady are going to figure it out with who they have, but I don't know.
Or they'll cheat.
Yeah, or they might do that. But I don't know if they have the ring caliber all together right now. We'll see where they go.
If there's one team I would never bet against, it's the New England Patriots.
There's one
true.
person I would never bet against. It's Bill Belichick. Ever.
Did
You just bet against him, though.
I did. But right now.
Who do the Patriots play?
Ask me in
week 2?
January.
Who do they play week 2? Isn't it the Saints, right?
Saints. I was about to say Saints.
Ooh, they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose.
I was reading that Drew Brees is able to break their defense
Yeah.
easily.
All I'm thinking.
It's
like I'm starting to
uncrackable.
be.
I mean, last night they've proven it's
We're on to New Orleans.
crackable.
We're on to New Orleans. Remember back when the last time they actually
We're on
lost?
to Cincinnati.
You know what I heard actually? Old Orleans Saints.
Old Orleans Saints. Like
Yeah.
Adrian Peterson, because he's old.
That, but
I
they just
don't.
haven't really changed over the years.
I
don't
so
know. I thought it sounded cool, so I wanted to say it.
Do we want to talk about the matchup coming up on Monday Night Football?
I don't know. Do we want to talk about that, or do we want to talk about the Saints versus the Vikings?
That is the game on
Monday
Monday
Night.
Night.
I thought you were going to say.
Oh, Katie.
Oh, that
matchup.
You need to have like the clapping hands like push on there.
Wait.
Straight cash, homie.
Okay.
Okay, well, that's
that
good
one
enough.
works.
I like that one works.
That is blasphemous.
Okay, that's
yeah.
No. Okay,
I like
so
that.
I totally thought you were still talking about Patriots versus Saints. So
No.
I hate myself. I'm sorry. Keep going.
No, that's I mean, Randy Moss isn't he getting inducted in the Vikings?
Yeah, he
Hall
already
of Fame?
did.
Yep.
Didn't he?
I think they're raising
Monday night.
his number.
Monday night. Yeah.
They're
Okay.
raising his number. But
They may as well raise Adrian's number the same night.
Oh.
Just do it.
did you see the little kind of insurance that he put on himself like a couple weeks ago when they announced, oh, you're playing Minnesota at home, or like I guess Minnesota in Minnesota, first week. He's like, I can't wait to take it to those guys. And then yesterday,
he said.
And then he was asked about it, he's like, well, I would say that it doesn't matter the game. I would say that about every single team. We want to go out there and get the win.
But
no,
because it's Minnesota Vikings, I really want to stick it to him.
No, you want to just cover your back in case you rush for 13 yards with a fumble.
But you know what? That defense,
probably
they are
will
so
do.
used to practicing with him. They're ready to shut him down.
with
But
a
they've
fumble.
no one on that defense has ever tackled him. But
they can't.
I'm putting a hunna on it that Anthony Barr is going to destroy.
Well, think about it. You have
Peterson
Harrison
all
Smith,
night.
Xavier Rhodes, Anthony Barr,
But
the same returners from our defense last year.
Barr has something to prove, especially this year with his lack of effort. So I think he's going to end up with like 20 tackles tonight.
Yeah, I mean, talk about the top 3 ranked team in the league last year for defense. I mean, the Vikings didn't lose anyone. They're just reloading. It's not even a rebuilding. So he's going to get shut down.
Yeah, it's going to be a very physical game.
It'll be. I just hope.
That
Now,
O-line,
with that being said about the defense, hopefully the preseason defense.
I mean, that's all we have
looks
to.
different
The
than,
Vikings have to smile about, at least.
The
The
defense.
defense, I couldn't even be.
I mean,
couldn't
it's
even
something
be,
consistent
If I was
for
Mike
them.
Zimmer, I would not be smiling about it right now. I'd be like,
Well, yeah, you
well,
can
we're
always
about
get
to-
better.
We're about to play the Saints, and we've sucked every single preseason game thus far. The
Yeah,
first
it's preseason.
The first.
Hey,
what? It's the
hey,
first. It's the
did you
first
not-
team defense.
Did you
has
not
been terrible.
watch the comeback against the 49ers?
No, I only
Oh,
care. I
spare
care
me.
about
Oh,
the.
that was
The
amazing.
San Francisco
That was
49ers.
I
amazing.
care
Robbie
about the
says
first
spare
5
me.
That's a
minutes.
Super Bowl matchup.
And then who was it? The who?
That is blasphemous.
I love
Bingo.
it. I love it. The 2-point conversion with time expired to win. They looked great there in the second half.
So
But
you're arguing about one play then.
You're
Arguing
arguing
the second
about.
half.
You're
You're
arguing
they
about
look
Taylor
super good on
Heinicke's
one play.
Taylor Heinicke.
Taylor
looked good.
Heinicke was able to lead that team to a win, and he's not even on the team anymore.
He looked good though. You're saying that he played good in the preseason. You said they didn't look good in the preseason.
Their defense, I'm talking about the first 5 minutes, never looked good. They never got.
They weren't
Do not
all
touch
in.
my
They were,
mic. They never looked good.
Okay, if we're being honest, I think it's gonna be a tough game for the Vikings. Drew Brees is gonna just ball out on Monday.
Might I just really
I agree.
quickly add that ESPN projected, where did I read? Yeah, they projected the Vikings to win 64.1% opposed to 35.6 for the Saints. I agree with you. Adrian Peterson, I mean, I would want so... They don't re-sign me, and then they sign Dalvin Cook and Latavius Murray, all these big guys. They don't even care. Like, bye. Boy, bye.
Business.
I want
He,
Cook to go.
he wants
off.
that sort of... I don't...
Well,
I mean, yeah, if Drew Brees can crack the defense,
I
like he's proven he could.
personally,
Drew Brees is gonna ball
I think
out.
Adrian
I think he
Peterson's
will have a
little
good game.
overrated, honestly.
I do.
Oh my
I
God.
do too.
I
But
think
who
we
else
should've
do
got
they
rid
have
of
on their
him 5
offensive
years ago.
line?
Adrian Peterson.
Oh, okay.
We just got rid
I
of
thought
him
you said
5 years
something
ago.
else.
Okay, well they have Breeze. I mean,
And
Michael
it's not
Thomas
even
only.
it's not
Okay.
even like Adrian Peterson's gonna be the starting.
No, it's Mark Ingram.
Starting back. It's Mark Ingram.
Yeah.
Let's all remember, Mark Ingram is going to get the majority.
is that
going to
be enough to be tough for the Vikings though?
It will be if Sam Bradford checks down to his running back every single play.
Okay, well,
Which is
how about
very
our
possible.
offensive- How
That's
about
gonna
our
happen.
offensive line blocks?
Well,
We can go on and on in circles about the Vikings. They're never
We're gonna get to the
going
same
to
end
have
result.
a perfect team.
oh no, not a chance.
I'm putting my money on the Vikes.
I'll put my money on the Vikes. They're at home in new stadium, or not new
Hunna?
stadium, but like
Putting a
Hunna?
Hunna on it? Hunna?
I'm gonna go Saints.
All right.
New Orleans.
Good talk. See you out there.
Payton, Drew Brees.
Speaking of little bets here, we're going to move into our next segment. It is fantasy time. We're going to start doing this
my
every
favorite.
Fantasy football.
So everyone listening and watching, we are going to have a little fantasy segment where we're going to run through each position, and you guys are going to tell me who you're starting for week 1 and why and how that has gone, even though there was one game last night. But so far, how you doing? Hard earn. So, week 1, we're starting with quarterbacks first. AJ, I want to hear it. Throw it at me. Who do you got?
Well, okay. There's so many good quarterbacks. I think you can wait until very late in the draft to actually pick one up, and I hope people did. I've seen people take Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees in the first 3 rounds. That's unbelievable. You can settle with a Kirk Cousins very late in the draft. We're talking round 10. So I think Kirk Cousins is going to be the guy because he's going to be a solid enough guy where he's at the end of the season, he's going to be 30 points less for his yearly total than a guy like Drew Brees.
Are we talking about the season or this week?
In general.
No, we're focused. Well, in general, but yeah. We can.
That's what I'm saying.
He's starting him for week 1. But
a lot of mine are Kirk Cousins. Otherwise, if I did spring a little bit, Drew Brees was the guy.
All right. Well.
If I had this guy on any of my lineups this year, it'd be Matt Ryan. He's playing Chicago week 1. I think you can go into Soldier Field. Their offense is going to have a bad taste in their mouth after not being able to score in the second half, right? They didn't score a single point in the second half, I don't think. So they're going to come out flying because they're Falcons.
All right, OC.
Ooh. I had a late pick this year. I didn't get the guy I wanted, but I settled for Eli Manning.
That's the guy everyone wants.
Simply because of who he's throwing to. I'll take Odell, Brandon Marshall, and Sterling Shepard.
But he still checks down to his tight ends.
I never said I was going to win the league. I just said I had him. And I think his wide receivers could carry him somewhere special if the Giants are going to do something this year. Like I said, late pick.
The Bolt Boys.
It's bold.
So, yeah, it was bold
move.
But I'm a bold person.
Cotton.
Robbie J.
See how this one plays out.
I agree with AJ's strategy. I went to the 8th round, and I took Marcus Mariota.
Ooh. He's a good pick.
I really like him for the whole season. This week he's playing my boys, Raider Nation. Granted, they don't have the best defense.
They definitely don't.
So, I'm not going to take it. I have Andy Dalton as my backup, but I want Mariota.
Red Rocket.
I don't know.
You can stroll with the Red Rocket until about week 13, and then things just always seem to go downhill for Cincinnati.
Yeah, but no, I like Mariota. In a perfect world, though, I would go with the jersey AJ's wearing and Cam Newton. I think that man's gonna have a bounce back year. I think he gets running yards, passing yards. He's got some weapons to throw to now, and after he embarrassed himself last year, I think he's got something to prove, just like Matt Ryan and the Falcons do week 1.
All right. Receivers.
What running backs? What about running backs?
We're doing every position.
I think we're gonna go.
We're gonna go receiver first. Okay. I just didn't want to give my hot. I didn't want my hot take to be overshadowed.
Who cares?
Okay. Robbie, you want to come on back? We'll do a little snake draft just so I don't get first picks.
All right, fair enough. All right, we're doing running backs or wide receivers. Which one?
Let's do receivers.
Wide receivers. All right, I got Golden Tate and.
Ew.
You don't like that pick?
Ew.
Why?
I don't like any of the Lions' receivers. That's all. Personally, I just don't. I think Matthew Stafford is either very hit or very miss. So
I think Stafford's overrated, and I think he should not have been paid what he got paid.
I think the Lions thought he was underrated.
He's got 0 playoff wins.
I know, but
that being said, imagine
the face of the franchise.
Imagine the Lions without Matthew Stafford. What do they have?
They have nothing.
They have nothing. Theo Riddick?
They were desperate.
Do you remember
John?
Exactly. They can't run the ball.
Joey Harrington.
But
they can't run the ball. They have to throw it.
But that's what I'm saying. Okay, fine. Okay, I'll give you that
you
one.
can't win.
That makes sense, but oh well.
Tough league.
And I was, my bitterness, I was a pick away from getting Jordy Nelson. Ooh. And it would have been a 5th round steal. And I was so hyped, and it was 10 picks away. And I was nudging my partner. I said, hey man, there's no way he's available. But if he does, we have to take Jordy Nelson. And people started going lower and lower on the draft board. And eventually I was dude, we might get him. And pick before us, they snagged him. And we had no idea who to take. I can't even remember who we took. I'd have to look. So I'll pass it up. Yeah, exactly. I was not happy.
Nice.
So I'm going to pass it off to Sir Sosimo before I start getting angry.
Yeah, I mean,
Sauce.
not a big draft year for me. I kind of slipped in the rankings a bit. I got two guys in Kelvin Benjamin because, I feel like Cam Newton's gonna have another big year like he did 2 years ago, and Kelvin Benjamin's back, and then Amari Cooper. I had to take him this year. So those are my two guys. Sounds like you guys don't care. Will, you're up.
Well, I'm going with.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
Huh?
I don't mean to interrupt. I had Tyreek Hill.
Ooh.
Yeah, he had 26 points last night. I forgot about that.
I played against Tyreek Hill, and he was on the bench. I was like, win, let's go. Wide receivers, starting this week, Demaryius Thomas and Dez Bryant. I think Demaryius Thomas is going to have a big bounce-back year, even though I wouldn't even really consider anything a bounce-back year after you have a 90-reception year again. But quarterback play is going to be better in Denver, and he's
Who is
their
quarterback?
Trevor Siemian.
Come on, Rob.
About to be Brock Osweiler.
No,
That's
please.
okay. He'll win it.
Nice.
He'll win.
As a Raider fan, I hope Brock Osweiler.
And it doesn't matter because the Raiders won't be able to score a point against the Denver D.
Oh, spare me.
All right.
It's Orange
Y'all
Crush.
didn't make the playoffs.
It's Orange
last
Crush.
Year.
All right, AJ.
AJ.
Well, I'm rocking Julio Jones and Jordy Nelson.
Ooh,
I don't
deadly.
know
Fine, you win.
Yeah, we get it.
I don't know how I got that little tandem there, but yeah. I got those two guys.
My
I think,
receivers are better.
I think Jordy is it's gonna be tough for him against the secondary in Seattle, but Julio Jones is gonna tear up the Bears.
Yeah.
Sorry, Caleb, if you're listening.
We're not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
We're not
Not
sorry.
really
The Bears
sorry.
are
All right.
trash.
Will, you've waited long for this. Running backs, throw them at me.
Running backs, Christian McCaffrey
That's
is
not a
all
hot take.
I
It's not
have
a hot take.
to say.
No,
It's not a hot
I like
take.
It's
that
not a
pick.
hot take anymore?
It's not a hot
Oh,
take.
that's cool. That's fine.
They have
Still.
their very own playbook based
Exactly.
around him.
I love it. I was like, Christian McCaffrey this year is going to be great in Carolina. The only other team I would have loved to see him draft to was Denver Broncos, following his father's footsteps. But this is a great offense for Christian McCaffrey.
That's nice.
He's going to put up numbers this year. And then I've got Amir Abdullah because he's the better back. He's the better back in Detroit. Theo Riddick is a journeyman.
Zach Zenner's better, but whatever.
I would have started Kareem Hunt, but I didn't. So I'm rocking a little Todd Gurley action with Isaiah Crowell.
Not bad.
Isaiah Crowell is supposed to have a breakout year. We'll have to see. Make or break week for him. Whether or not he starts after this week is really up to that. Todd Gurley cannot be worse. He cannot be worse than he was last season. So there's only upside. It's a win-win regardless. So I'm totally down for that.
Okay.
I just got one running back.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't get another one because I didn't need to. Le'Veon Bell.
Oh my God.
All day.
Stud.
Yeah.
Studly.
What kind of
I
league are
just
you
don't
in?
like
Yeah,
him.
jeez.
There's no way his teammates like him.
Yeah,
There's absolutely no way.
Who?
That's fair.
Le'Veon Bell.
Why not? He's
Yeah,
just
they're-
waiting to get paid.
they're-
I mean,
Everyone's
they're-
yeah,
just
like,
waiting to
sweet,
get paid.
take the ball, do whatever, but
They're not
in
going to
the
love
locker
him
room?
until Sunday when he goes for like 200 receiving yards and 400 rushing
And I win
yards.
my fantasy league.
That's so many yards.
That's 600.
Robbie, who you got?
Okay, Rob.
I was my first round pick was Jay Ajayi. I was at the 11th pick, so I would have liked someone better, but you got to take what you can get. And then I got C.J. Anderson.
That'll be good unless he
Nice.
gets hurt.
I'm
and then
sorry for your loss. If there's one player I don't really like for
Wow.
Denver, it's C.J.
A
Anderson.
big value
Wow,
pick
I'm
is
trying to
Jamal
score some
Charles.
points over there.
Jamal
Can't
Charles
even
is a
get it.
big value pick. Pick him up if he's a free agent because as soon as C.J. Anderson gets that like tear in his hamstring, Jamal Charles is just gonna step
You
in.
forgot
Yeah.
about a key character in that three-headed monster backfield in Devon Booker.
Not a chance.
Okay,
No.
let's
Jamal
Guys,
Charles.
see.
hey,
Let's see.
Also, hey, I
Wait.
got a sleeper. I'm sorry, Katie. I got a sleeper in Robert Thomas though, in
I don't even know
Washington.
who that is.
He's the number one
Robert
back in
Kelly?
Washington. Oh yeah, him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say Rob Thomas.
That's hey, he's a sleeper. He's not much of a sleeper. I don't know
Rob
his
Thomas,
name.
Rob Thomas is a singer.
He's a singer.
No, I got
Rob.
Robert Kelly.
Okay, Robert Kelly.
okay, we're going to move on. I wish we had so much more. We're going to finish positions next week. What do we have left? Some kickers, tight ends, and defense I want to hear next week, and maybe
Left
some
tackles.
QBs.
Left
No.
tackles.
We're doing
Hunters.
IDP, right?
All right,
Can't
I
forget
want
about the
to
outside
transition
linebacker.
over to baseball because the Cleveland Baseball Club absolutely went off last night, but they have been for the last 15 games. They're on a 15-game win streak. Beat Chicago last night, the Chicago White Sox.
Couldn't beat the Cubs last
11
year.
to 2. Could have. I also wanted to mention that Corey Kluber had his 14th outing where he had double digits for strikeouts.
What a goober.
I mean, this guy...
Nice.
They're good.
And another fun fact, he only threw fastballs last night for 25% of the time. He's
good.
on his game.
Things that make you go,
Yeah. He's good.
I mean, you had Francisco Lindor leading off the game with a triple, following that in the second inning with his 27th homer. It's super casual. Me too.
Super casual.
I mean,
super casual.
Okay.
15 wins in a row for this team. It's got to mean the gears everyone's clicking. I mean, they have to have another World Series run.
They're doing exactly the right thing, which is what the Dodgers didn't do, is get hot right before the postseason.
True.
I'm still waiting
Isn't
for
that
the wheels to fall off.
There's like a light.
I don't think
worry
they're
about
going
it.
to.
We're getting a call. That's all.
Don't worry about it.
I don't see the wheels falling off. I just don't.
I hope it does for the Twins' sake, though.
The Twins are not playing awful.
But I don't want to play the Yankees in a wild card game in New York.
Or if we shout back to Moneyball, a little bit of Oakland Athletics.
Shouts out.
But anyways,
Cleveland's outscored their opponents by 81 runs during the win streak too.
They're playing really well.
They're that's winning 5.4 runs a game. I mean, the Giants. I'm wearing a Giants shirt here. They haven't even done that. What have they
They brought back Pablo Sandoval.
13 games, they've won 5 or more by 5 or more runs. I mean, this team is dominating, especially the AL Central. I think World Series.
The
dub.
Let's do
Fly
it.
the dub for the Cleveland club.
Oh.
Did you hear that? It was so funny.
Well, it didn't happen last year, so. Oh.
As long as they don't blow another 3-1 lead. Oh.
Hey, no, don't worry. I'm still rooting for the Cubs a little bit here and there.
You darn right.
Only one.
All right, but yeah, merging over to the Twins as well. Big W last night.
Yeah, they pulled
4-2
something out.
over Kansas City. How about them apples, Will?
Robbie Grossman, Max Kepler.
Yeah, he did well.
Yep.
Did you guys watch that post game though? Grossman has nothing to say.
He's just
Roger Martin's like da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, pulls the mic and he's just like, yeah, it was good.
Well,
like,
he's
just
one
not very
of those
outgoing.
guys when you
same
had
thing. Alex Smith, they would be great friends. Yeah.
him and Joe Mauer. Joe Mauer and Grossman, both the average Joes they have their names on their back plates during nickname weekends. Not a nickname, it's a
so lame.
That that just shows you how much
Players Weekend or whatever. That was kind of weird. I think they're trying to spice up the MLB a
I
little
loved it.
bit. Oh gosh,
Absolutely
of course you
loved
did.
I would have loved it
I
if
like that
Joe
too.
would have had either Joe, MVP, or Average Joe on the back of his jersey.
But Joe's too much of an average Joe to give himself a nickname.
Ooh, spin zone. Twins though are one.
No, you know what that is? That's horrible, awful. That's horrible and awful mixed together.
That's awful.
That's awful. I really wanted to. Okay, I feel we have 1 minute left. Can we go a little over? 2? No. Maybe 2 minutes.
Yeah, 2.
Okay, because I really told OC that I would touch about the U.S. Open for tennis. So take the mic.
Yeah, so big week in tennis.
Huge week.
Yeah,
it's
It
huge.
actually was. It was huge.
The first time that I can remember, I think it might be the first time ever. There's been 4 American women in the semis. It might have happened back when
I think it might have happened once, but it was
a long time ago.
It was like 1908. Maybe.
Yeah, it was
something
too long ago. Yeah, so it was like the first time in a long time, 4 women. Coco, and we had Madison Keys, Sloane Stevens, Venus Williams, and one of them wasn't even Serena Williams.
Crazy.
And now we have the 2 youngest, Sloane Stevens and Madison Keys, in the finals.
Yeah, who you rooting for, OC?
Sloane Stevens.
Yes.
Duh.
Yes,
Why?
of
Because she's
course.
pretty, or because she's talented, or because she's both?
Because she's outgoing.
Oh,
She might
she's
be
got a
as
great
good
personality.
interview.
She could be
Great
smart.
personality.
Yeah,
she could be
Katie,
funny.
She could
Have
be
you heard
smart.
her interviews? They're so good.
They're
And
really
she's
good.
so good. And
good
she
talk.
fell off the map like
She's
2 years
charismatic.
ago.
Hey, what's this
and all of a
girl's
sudden
name
she
again?
Sloane Stevens.
Sloane Stevens, if you're listening right now, you have an admirer, and it's not secret.
Yes, but seriously,
Ooh.
she fell off the map 2 years ago. Everyone's like, oh, Sloane Stevens is supposed to be the next best thing in the United States women's tennis, and now she's terrible. She's blah, blah, all this stuff. Boom.
No, she's back. Officially back, declaring it.
Speaking of back, we will be back next Friday here on KVSC 88.1 FM as well as UTVS. Thank you for joining us here on Sidelines. Coming up next, we have the news edition. and Husky Sports Friday with the one and only Tony. We'll see you guys next week here on KVSC Sidelines.
Piceline.